So, hey, who just dropped me here, man? Oh, it's you. You're the one that wants to get to top school. I know it's a little secret of yours, man. Don't worry. Your secret's safe from me, man. I'll keep it. I'll keep it on the hush. But you want to get into top school. And besides all that prestige stuff, you might want to do a little some of this. Or that. Or even some of that. I really hope my editor is like putting in the clips, But you're in the right spot. Don't you worry, man. You're in safe hands with me. Pause. Before you even listen to me speak, if you didn't watch my college admissions reaction video, go back and click that link at the top and watch the admissions reaction video. Anyways, besides that, in that video, you better have watched that video. I got into schools such as Howard, University of Southern California, UC Berkeley, what are the schools? University of Florida, Go Gators, you know what I'm saying? And I also got into my favorite school, Duke University, which I was able to like enjoy an entire year there, and now I'm going into my sophomore year. If you're watching this, you're probably a little nervous about the college application process. You might be wondering if you're gonna be able to get into a lot of these schools. You might be even wondering like, what should I be doing now in order to get into these schools? All of these questions here, they're gonna be answered, and I'm going to be able to not only kind of inspire you in a sense of what you should be doing or could be doing to get into these schools, but also be giving you kind of an open book. You're going to be able to see my test scores, my activities, and things I did before getting into a lot of these schools, and maybe kind of giving you a better idea of what you should be doing before you apply your senior year. All right, let's get into the video. I'm going to be breaking down the Common App within 5 different categories. I'm going to be doing, let me get my iPad out here, but I'm going to do general education, general information, education. Then I'm going to do honors, which is like awards. And then I'm going to do test scores. And then lastly, the meat and potatoes activities. So with that being said, we're just going to get right into it. All right, so to start it off, I'm in the class of 2028 in university. I am from, what did I say here? I am Black and Haitian American. I applied to most of these schools as either African American Studies, philosophy, politics and economics, or just economics. And then I also I speak English, and I also speak Haitian Creole, which I include in my application. And I am from Miami, Florida. So yeah, that's what I wrote. In regards to my actual household, my household has a lot of people within it, which includes my aunts and my cousins. I have both my parents, which live within my actual. Let me scoot over a little bit. Both of my parents live in my house, and my mom, she is a registered nurse. My father, he is a pharmacist, and I have one sibling. He is my twin, and he was also going through the college admissions process at the same time. And some of the schools that we were applying to, we applied to the same schools. Yeah. So for education, I'm going to give a small plug. I went to the best high school in Florida. I went to School for Advanced Studies. My class only had 70 people within the actual school. So compared to my previous public school, which had maybe I think like 400, 300 graduating seniors, this school only had 70 graduating seniors. So that's a very small class, to keep it real. Looking here, yeah, but the reason I forgot to mention, the reason why my school only had 70 people is because our school, it was a school that like you had to get your associates in arts degree, so it was only for juniors and seniors. So sophomores had to apply to the school to get it. My cumulative GPA was, I know our scale was a lot different, but mine was a 5.05. My unweighted was a 3.89 because I wasn't perfect, but I did pretty good in school. My most recent classes while applying, I'm just going to read off my iPad right here for these ones. It was AP Calculus BC, AP Literature, AP Government. I was going to take macro in the spring. I took 3 classes for dual enrollment because my school allowed us to take dual enrollment courses. So I also took dual enrollment Human Anatomy and Physiology, dual enrollment Intro to Sociology, which was one of my favorite classes, and I also took dual enrollment for microeconomics because I was considering applying for economics. I was getting to the honors. This, to be fair, one thing I will tell people: don't worry too much about your actual honors or your awards, because to keep it real, my awards were not anything special at all. Like when I'm looking back at these, I was like, realistically, I didn't have a lot to put, but I put something here, and I think that's an important thing, that you have something in there, because like I'm going to tell you what I have, and this will kind of allow you to think about what you could possibly put in your honor section. So one, I put AP Scholar of Distinction. So this is something you get by like passing, I think, a certain amount of AP tests with a 3 or a 4. I got something called the Miami-Dade Silver Knight. I was a nominee for it at the time, and I eventually won the Miami Herald. Not, I didn't win. I got honorable mention for the Miami Herald Silver Knight Award, which is a very prestigious award within Florida and Miami. So it's kind of local slash state. Um, I got National African American Recognition Award, which is something awarded by the College Board based on your AP scores. What else did I put? I put National Honor Society, so I was part of the Honor Society. We didn't do much at my school. I know a lot of other schools did more in their Honor Society, but my school specifically, we didn't really do much, to keep it real. And the last thing I put here was I got perfect attendance from K to 11th grade. I messed up my senior year, but I still put it there because that was an accomplishment in some way. And that kind of shows that you can put almost anything as an award. That was an award to me. I want something 8th grade, 5th grade, and I would have want something senior year. So I put that in. All right, for the next section. This is one just a little bit, I actually never really spoke. My school, we're not supposed to speak about test scores at all, which I enjoyed because it kind of made for a more collaborative and a less competitive environment. So this is the first time really telling people my test scores, but now I'm graduated, so it's fair. So another disclaimer, I was class of 2028, so I didn't send a lot of my scores out, but I did send them to some of my state schools. So for my SAT score, I got a 1390 on the test. I did a bunch of tries, so that wasn't my first try, but I got a 1390. I also took the ACT, and I got a 30. I didn't really study too much for the ACT because I knew I was gonna go test optional. So for my actual AP test, I took 5 before applying, and I was like in 3 other ones. So I got a 3 on AP Physics 1. So I was like, man, I was proud of myself, man. When I got that 3, you don't understand it. Physics was not my thing. And I was very proud of myself when I got a 3 because a lot of people didn't pass that test. And to be fair, I didn't take it as seriously as I was supposed to. Words. Um, Next one, I got a 5 on AP European History. So that was a class I really enjoyed, and I had a very good teacher. Shout out to Miss Lee, for watching this. I took A push. I took A push. I got a 4. I really wanted the 5, but honestly, I'll take the 4. I'll take the 4. And I got a 4 on AP Calc AB. I wanted 5, but I'll take the 4. You get what I'm saying? And then the last one I got was AP Lang. Also got a 4. I wish I got a 5, but I'll take the 4. You know what I'm saying? So those are the scores I submitted um, before the scores came around the second time. Because I was still senior year, as you can assume. But I only sent 5 scores, but I sent all of my tests. So that's all of my test scores. Last but not least, I'm gonna show you guys the meat and potatoes. This is the long one. This is my activities, okay? So I put, out of the 10 spots they had in the Common App, best believe I put all 10. I put all 10. Doesn't matter how involved, because some were kind of filler, but I still try to put as many as possible. So for my biggest one, I was the vice president of my school's student government. So I was in student government 10th grade at my old school. I wasn't really too involved, but I was in student government, so I still put that on my Common App. And then 11th grade, um, towards the middle of the year, because my school does it a little differently, I applied and I ran to be student government vice president, and I was voted in. So I started a little towards the back end of 11th grade, and um, I took all the full responsibilities senior year. So it was 11th and 12th grade. So it was a 2 year kind of position. My school is a little different. I don't know how your school does it. The next position I put on there for number two was legislative liaison for my district student government. And yeah, like to be fair, when I tell people this position, um, they don't even know what a legislative liaison is. But for the actual district student government, which is the student government of the Miami-Dade district, um, legislative liaison was at least what I was in the role, because people took the position a little differently. Is I informed the students about the new and upcoming school board items. I kind of tried to foster and like listen to a lot of their opinions, because a lot of people had opinions on how they'll be affected by the school board item, and the secretary would then write it down, and then I would have to kind of keep this in my mind when I would go to my other position within the legislative liaison. I mean, words within the actual student government. So this position had two roles, and I'll kind of mention that later on a different number. But my main role was informing the students about school board items and working with the student advisor, which is another position in like we collaborate. So yeah, it was a position. Number three, Number three was Culture Corner Florida, which was a organization I started my junior going into senior year summer. So it wasn't a nonprofit, but it was like a passion project kind of thing. So I I ended up reading books, cultural books, to kids at an after school program with three of my other friends, and we would go once a week to my alma mater, one of my elementary schools, and we would read like I would read some books, some of the other ones would read books, and we'd all take turns reading books to the kids. And that was actually one of my most fun activities. Like we would play games with them after. We would all like kind of bond and like go find books to read to them like right before. So it was fun and it was very lighthearted. Um, very low pressure. The only thing I would say was it was hard to like communicate, because when you're working within a school, it's not the easiest activity to do, to be fair. Yeah, but that was very fun. And I did that. I was president of it. I was the founder, so I did that 11th grade summer to 12th grade, all the way to like the last week of school. Um, the last one I did was internship, something called MTA Visions. So it was an internship I did like for a international law firm. It was remote. So I did that my junior summer. And to be fair, like this was one of the things that kind of started my whole like idea of trying to be a lawyer. I found out that I wanted to be a lawyer like 11th grade. I was like, what kind of opportunity can I do to like put on my resume that this would look nice? So I did this, and honestly, it was 17 hours a week. I would be doing like meal chats, like I would be like writing summaries of different like countries. Um, I'd be doing voter research for different countries for the law firm, because I was an assistant intern, so I was doing a lot of busy work. But it was a great opportunity, and I would say this is like one of the cooler things I was able to do, even though it's very stressful, to be fair. But it was very cool. Um, Another thing I did for number five was I was a treasurer for my friend's nonprofit. So it was called Peace Protection, and we would do a lot of beach cleanups, and we adopted a park, and we also like one of the bigger things that we did was um, we had a school supply drive going into my senior year. So during that summer, we did a school supply drive, and that was amazing. And it was really fun being the treasurer, even though my roles was a little bit more than just the treasurer. We'd go to a lot of activities, but it was fun, and it was a good opportunity to serve the community. Number six, which was the position I was speaking about before, is called District Student Government Liaison. So, as part of legislative liaison on the District Student Government Board, I served another position on the Miami-Dade Youth Commission, where I would kind of bring the information I got from the district student government and kind of relay that to the people in the Youth Commission. So, a lot of our items that we would create within the Youth Commission, it would have to do with a lot of the opinions and things we heard in the district student government meetings. So it was a position which kind of like bounced off each other. And that was cool. I met a new group of people. We went on a trip together in June to DC for free. So I love that. And I made some great friends in there, which I still speak to sometimes. It's cool. Um, the last seven on the list was drummer for my church. So I went to church every Sunday while I was here in Miami. And one of the big things I did was I would play the drums and other instruments, but mainly the drums for my church. And I put that on here because this is a big thing that I did while I was here, and it was super fun. And I started in quarantine, so I put from 2020 to all the way to 2024, and I was able to grow as a musician, and also it was a great opportunity. Yeah. Number eight, we're getting towards the end, so these are more of the filler activities, like the drums more filler. This one was teens advocating together. So with like I joined this senior year, like this was like this. No, don't get me wrong, it was great, but I like this is not like something I was doing for a year. Like, this was 1 year, and I advocated with it was part of the NAACP's local youth chapter and the Greater Jewish Foundations chapter. It was an organization that put us together, and we would advocate, not lobby, but advocate for like different like laws. Like they would come up with a bunch of laws which kind of not laws, a bunch of bills which had to do with our organizations and kind of our ideals, and we would come together and advocate for them in Tallahassee, like a trip we did like in February, and it was a fun opportunity. It was definitely eye opening to the process of like, you know, advocacy, and it was cool. It was another free trip, so that was something else. Number nine, the BSU. I was a very active member at my school's BSU. 11th and 12th grade year. I didn't hold a position. Um, yeah, but I still was an active member within the BSU, and I had to put it on the Common App. I had to put it on the Common App. And the last thing I did, I put Model UN. I did that for 2 years at my school. This is the last thing I put on here. And to be fair, this was strictly for fun. Like I knew people that took modeling very seriously. I was not that person. I wish I did, but I went there 2 years. I never won anything. I wasn't that good, but it helped with my public speaking, and it was fun. I met some great people in Model UN. I had some great experiences there, and it was very challenging. It's something that put me out of my comfort zone because I'm not that comfortable speaking in front of others. Surprisingly, I have a camera on my face, but I'm not that comfortable speaking in front of others. So yeah, that was the last thing I did. With that being said, um, the college process is a holistic process. So you see me give you the background. I gave you the activities, my family background, who I am, and even still, you still don't even know that much about me. So one thing I'll tell you, the college application process is, yes, it is slightly random. There is some merit within it. It is also very holistic, which includes your essays, how much they kind of think you'd fit at the school and the culture, and yeah, a lot of factors. So what I did to get into these universities may not be the formula to get in for sure, because if you see my other video, I got rejected from a lot of schools. So I know I'm not the formula. But one thing I will tell you is where you end up is where you are meant to be. And I think it's great to take this as inspiration, take inspiration from my different scores or what I did, but remember your story is your own. So do what you do and do what you're passionate about, and that's what matters most. With that being said, I'm gonna head out. Peace.